Welcome to video 18, Fire Mouse. I want to clear up something that I said in video 10, and if you've been watching the channel for a while, you probably caught it. It was a little verbal slip up here. And I probably make many of them. I know of many that I've made, and there's probably many that I'm not aware that I've made. But nonetheless, if you're familiar with the channel and you've been watching, you understood what I've said before and what I was trying to say then. And I was talking about the sun moving along the ecliptic. And it's called the ingress of the sun along the ecliptic. And the observer from Earth, when he views the sun against the ecliptic, invariably sees the sun making a snaking path from its highest to its lowest point. And then that creates the summer solstice and then the winter solstice on this chart here. And then all of the other seasonal months in between. So what I said is that it was the Earth that was being viewed making the snaking path. And what I was trying to say is that it is the observer on Earth that perceives the sun making a snaking path along the ecliptic. So I hope you understood that. And to further clarify what we already understand is that the sun is not making this snaking path at all. It's only by observation, and then that observation in essence would be faulty. It's due to an influence of the Earth itself and its movements that then is connected to the phenomenon of precession and something else that is considered the 4,000-year wobble. So all of that is related to an ancient supposed impact of some sort of celestial intruder that has come into our solar system in the ancient past and then has caused various phenomenon associated with this. So to keep this in mind, I hope that you understand that what you're seeing here is once again the mirror. We're seeing the sun, but then we see a huge portion of people from ancient times and even till now would perceive the sun as a serpent, you know? And he's not. We're talking about the original center, not the original sinner. Now, the original sinner, of course, is symbolized with serpent symbolism. And then we can see that his influence is based upon deception, illusion, smoke and mirrors. All this is based upon observation. It's based upon distorting the truth by the observer's eyes. And then we can see, even in this chart, that based upon the distortion of the observer's view, once again, the sun begins to appear like a serpent. Well, Jesus Christ is no serpent. He is making the straight path, the straight and narrow, but it is the observer who is now entertaining the wide path, the broad path to destruction. So we've talked about that many times before. Understand that it's not the sun who's actually making the snaking broad path, but it is just the observer who is confused in his observation of even present time, ancient history, the phenomenon of astronomy, and even physics, who is confused, that then perceives the sun as a serpent, not only the material sun at the center of our solar system, but even, unfortunately, the spiritual sun, who is the creator of the system solar, the system of creating divine souls. So he's no serpent. But that being who has sought to confuse that most definitely is symbolized as a serpent. And then we can see that this phenomenon is associated with some form of celestial intruder, some solar intruder. And then this makes perfect sense now when we team it up with the story of the serpent in the garden, almost like that celestial solar intruder all over again. Almost. So I hope that that did clear up what I said on video 10. And, many of you, if you've been watching the channel, are already familiar with that. So there's much more to talk about with it. Now, I'm not going to talk any more about this chart as far as I know in this series here, because I want to get back to more of what we began to talk about, and which we really still are, but we need to get back to the root core of the greater meanings of what we're trying to understand about it. I think in what we understood here about it thus far is that this would prepare us to understand how this fire mouse situation could be occurring again in our future. Something very similar to it. We see that people are being tempted and beckoned to go up to a high location and even go to low locations as well. And they're being told that they're to escape a calamity and all these sorts of things. And then they're being shown scripture and then the scripture is being taken out of context, obviously, from what we can see of it. So these people are unaware. So if this was to happen again, and then people were going to be sent somewhere and then even encompassed, well, then we can see how they're getting there now. And we could see that it has been a setup for a very long time within various secret societies, organizations, most of them just plainly affiliated with Freemasonry. And then you can see now, once again here, this would be the fulfillment, at least in their own symbolism here, of Ezekiel 17, where you have got that weeping maiden. She's got the branch. There's the hourglass symbolizing time, even in symbolization of Osiris Orion. And then here is that sickle, which is then connected in their perception of the harvest. But as we can see, there is something that is not right about this, as what we're beginning to find out, because there is that girl, and then we see her being shown here as a dead girl. And then we would see her being shown here in the very same way. But you couldn't see that in this if you didn't understand what you were already seeing in this. So notice that the ladder is going up to the Boaz column in symbolization of the moon. So it's the very same thing that we're seeing. I was unaware of what this really meant until I just started doing the video yesterday. I literally saw the correlations as I was doing the videos right there on the spot, so to say. And all of this, appeared as I continually began to look at that. And it's just amazing. So I'm going to not speak about this any further in this video series, at least that I'm aware of. I'm going to try to return back to the Hezekiah Sennacherib portion of this route. And maybe if I have the opportunity, I will return and just do a full video on this tapestry itself, in which it absolutely would require it. So just at the close of this video here, I'd like you to take a look at something and notice these spotted feline individuals here, like leopards, right? And then we got to recall from the book of Jeremiah, where he is saying, under inspiration of the Spirit of truth, the angel of the Lord, the inspiration of God, can the leopard change his spots? And then once again, and there are these leopard-like felines that are supporting this foundation here. And then once again, we see these very same spotted felines up here. In which this is the same symbolism here that is actually right here. And that's why I'm just going to take the opportunity to explain it on a whole nother video series. I'd like you to notice the platform and then the zigzag line that begins to appear, and we know that is connected to the movements of the moon as seen from ancient times. So, can the leopard change his spots? Well, maybe those that are being marked as leopards might have the opportunity to do that if they can take these videos and begin to see the truth that I'm trying to convey from it, and that the Spirit of truth is trying to convey through me as best as I'm able to receive, and hopefully you as well. So please consider what you're seeing here. Please consider the connection with the spotted leopards, even in connection what we know with what we made with the moon, that has those very same perceptual spots, those very same